Darlings, thank you so much for stopping by on today. I am so grateful that you took the time to watch little old me and see what we got cooking in the kitchen today. So today we're going to do something awesome. I was challenged or asked about doing an entire vegetarian meal. Someone asked me, how do I build a whole meal of nothing but just a vegetarian meal? And they're used to having meat and having a veggie and then having maybe some potatoes or something like that. So how do you build a meal for a vegetarian? I tell you what, I'm going to help you out with that because that's a lifestyle that I live the majority of the time. Do eat a little fish every now and then, but most of the time my meals are vegetarian. So check this out. We're going to build an entire meal of nothing but vegetarian foods. So stay tuned, keep watching, let's get started. Okay guys, so for this particular video, what we're going to need is, what we're going to need is some eggplant. I've got these Chinese eggplants because they're a little easier to work with for a recipe like this. We're going to need some asparagus, that's part of our meal. We're going to do a mixture of broccoli and cauliflower. And we're going to need some mushrooms. We're going to actually incorporate in some other things along the way. Eggplant is going to be the center of our meal. It's going to serve as our meat. If you can see, I'm moving everything out of the way here. So it's going to serve as our meat. So we're going to start off by cutting our eggplant. We're going to cut that end off. Drop that in the trash bowl. And cut the other end off. Drop that in the trash bowl. Now, what you can do is you can actually use a peeler to peel. Alright, let's try this again. So, we're going to use the peeler to peel our eggplant. And so, I have one of the ones that you kind of just work down like that. So, I'm using this peeler and I'm peeling the skin off. Some people like the skin on. I find the skin off easier to work with and better tasting and easier for the eggplant to cook. So peeling off that skin, see how easy that is? We're going to peel that skin off and then we're going to cut this into some slices that we're going to toast in the oven. What we're going to do is we're going to coat this with some panko bread. And then we're going to toast it in the oven. And that's going to be our meat. It's kind of like an oven fried. So, we're going to cut this actually at a slant. So, if you can see, I am cutting at a slant. So, we're going to cut this, if we can get at a slant. And then make our pieces of meat. That's going to be our meat. It's kind of like a nugget or something like that, but it's going to be worth it. And so we're cutting it at a slant. Now our next thing is we're going to get our asparagus prepared. So we're going to cut the ends off and then we're going to rinse them. Make sure you rinse them because you want to make sure that there's not any dirt or anything on them. So when you're cutting asparagus, here's the thing, the tip is the best part of it. So you don't want to be without the tip, but you want to cut enough of it to where at the end where you're not getting the tough part, but not so much that you're losing most of your asparagus. So usually your asparagus has a spot, if you can see, where it starts to get green, dark green. Down here is going to be light, up here it starts to get green. So we're going to cut where it starts to get green. And we're going to do that, and I cut mine at a slant just to be special. So use it, and I'm going to just drop that. And all I'm going to do is just drop this in here, and then we're going to throw some seasoning on it a little bit. You want to wet it just a tad with a little water, and we're going to throw some seasoning on it. So once we season it, we're going to put it in the pot so that we can steam it. I have a steamer basket that you can get for like that. Okay, so now we're going to get our eggplant ready. So since we've already rinsed it off, and we're actually going to incorporate some of our mushrooms in with it. I'm going to chop up some mushrooms. Now, here's the thing about these mushrooms. First of all, they tell you to just wipe them off with a paper towel. I prefer to rinse them because mushrooms have a little dirt and sometimes it's a little hard to get it off with just the paper towel. So I'm going to rinse these really quickly and then we're going to get started on the whole thing. Okay, so now that we have rinsed off our mushrooms, I'm just going to cut these in half. I'm not actually going to slice them. If you like mushrooms, I promise you're going to love this. I'm going to cut them in half, put them in here with the eggplant. So what's going to happen is your eggplant and your mushrooms are serving as your meat for your vegetarian meal. So now, to give them more of a meaty flavor, we're going to take about 1/4 cup of liquid smoke and pour it in there. Give it kind of that smoky, meaty kind of flavor. Didn't realize there was a trick to that, did you? So, and then we're going to take some of our sea salt. We're going to do a couple of pinches of the sea salt. Well, let's do 3 because they can be a little bland. And then we're going to mix that around. Now, because you rinsed off those mushrooms, it's probably going to carry a little water at the bottom. That's okay. And you also put that liquid smoke in there. That's okay too. So, now we put in our sea salt. I'll put a little bit more because I like mine to really have some flavor. So we put in our sea salt. We're going to put in a couple of pinches of pepper. Okay, just a couple of pinches of pepper. And then we're going to put in some fennel seeds, but we're going to do something really different with the fennel seeds. So what I'm going to do is set this to the side for just a second. I have this little tool. It's a grinder, usually used for coffee grounds, okay? But I use it for some of my herbs and spices. It has this little cup, you know, to grind them up, especially when I'm making some of my own spices and stuff. And you want to grind them. I want to grind them all together. Make them really good, easy to use. So what I'm going to do, I put them in here in the little cup that it comes in. Drop it down in that. And then I'm going to grind these fennel seeds. And you're only going to put about 1/4 cup in there. It has a line to tell you what's the maximum you can do, but you just put a little bit. Not even really 1/4 cup. It's more like 1/8 of a cup or something like that. And then so these fennel seeds are nice and ground. And then I'm going to take it and sprinkle that into my mixture of mushrooms and eggplant. And see, now it's all covered in seasoning. Now I'm going to do something really, really crazy. Because I am crazy when it comes to food. Hands. So, we're going to bread this with some panko crumbs before we put it in the oven. But we're going to do something even crazier. We're going to mix the panko crumbs with something. Okay, so we're going to take our panko crumbs, put them in, I say about 1 cup should do it. And we'll put them in a bowl. Then, now, everybody sees this little fish fry breading that they have in the grocery store, the Louisiana fish fry products. Okay, so it's seasoned really well. You can use it on more than just fish. So I'm going to take a little of that, about 1/4 cup of that, and mix it in with my breadcrumbs. Because that will give the breadcrumbs the seasoning that I need to top it all off and make it all good. So now what we're going to do is, all we're going to do is take our eggplants and our mushrooms and put them in the breadcrumbs. See? And then we're going to put it on a cookie sheet lined with foil paper, not parchment paper this time, and then get it ready. Okay, so now everybody wonders how you get it all nice and toasty when you put it in the oven. I've already cut my oven on and it's preheating at 400 degrees on bake, not broil. So I already have it on. What you do is you take and you spray a little cooking spray at the bottom of the pan onto the foil. Then you're going to take your items that you have covered in your breadcrumbs and spread them out onto the cookie sheet. Now here's the trick, guys. When you spread it out onto the cookie sheet, you do not want these things on top of each other. You want them truly spread out, because what happens is when you kind of stack them on top of each other, they start to get steam building up instead of what you're looking for, which is for them to be nice and crispy. And when they start to steam as opposed to crisping, for lack of a better word, what happens is they're all nice and soggy. You don't get that crunch you like, or none of that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to bread these with the breadcrumbs and the seasoning, and then we're going to get ready to put them in the oven. Alrighty, so these are ready to go. We're going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to bake them in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown. Now if you want to, okay, so in the bottom of this pot, I've already put about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water in the very bottom. We're going to steam our broccoli and cauliflower. Now I have this this awesome little tool here, little gadget here. You can actually find this at the dollar store for like $1, and it's a steam basket. So what you do is you put this down into the pan, the pot, and then you open it up, and then you're going to take your veggies, whatever veggies, in this case we're doing broccoli and cauliflower, and you're going to take those and put those in and cut on the fire. Once you cut the fire on, you're going to cover that up with a top, and then you're going to put it on medium. It's going to steam your veggies. Alrighty, so now for my asparagus, what I'm using is my little griddle pan. Had it forever, which is why it's so dark in the middle. I'm going to spray some cooking spray in the bottom, and I'm basically just going to grill my asparagus. So we're just going to lay that down in there, and keep in mind we've already rinsed them. And we're just going to lay them down in the bottom so that they can cook nice and even. Get those pretty little grill marks. And we have this on medium high as well, and that's going to start to grill them. After they're finished is when you put your seasoning on your asparagus, because if you season it before, it's just going to fall right off. So you wait until they're finished and they're a little oily in order for you to get what you're looking for. And our asparagus is cooking and sizzling nice, so we're going to keep that rolling around in the pan there, and that should be done very shortly. And while we're finishing up on that, we're going to go ahead and get our salt. Nice. That is beautiful. Just so you can see, it's only been a couple of minutes and they're already starting to steam, so they'll be ready in like 5 minutes, your broccoli and cauliflower. So we're just going to let that steam for a few more minutes and they'll be ready. And in just about 10 minutes, that is nice and crispy. And see how pretty that is? We're going to finish up our little sauce and put all this together. Alright, my darlings, so there you have it. We made a complete full vegetarian meal. We substituted our meat with some eggplant and mushrooms. We did crispy eggplant and mushrooms, oven baked, not fried. We did some steamed broccoli and cauliflower that we seasoned and put in our little pot with our little steam basket, and some nice fresh asparagus covered with our butter garlic seasoning. So, or butter garlic, well, seasoning, I guess. So this is a nice meal to have if you're a vegetarian, or if you're trying vegetarian. This is a nice thing to do, a nice way to start. You know, you start out by substituting your meat with things like eggplant, mushrooms. You can use tofu. Tofu has no flavor, takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with. It doesn't always have to be just some veggies. You can do casseroles and all kind of things, and we're going to have a whole week next month where we're doing nothing but vegetarian meals the entire month. You can do make-aheads, you can do vegetarian lasagna. There's a lot of things that you could do when you're vegetarian to satisfy your hunger without having to eat the meat. So there you have it. So now I'm actually gonna have this for lunch like right now, because I'm a little hungry. I've been kind of going all day and I'm hungry. I hadn't had anything to eat, so I'm gonna have some now. And I tasted the eggplant and the mushroom before I cut the camera back on. Oh my God, it's so good. And the sauce that we made goes really, really well with it. You don't have to do the sauce. I just like to have a little something to dip, make me feel like I'm having gravy with some chicken or something. And I'll even show you guys next month how to make buffalo cauliflower. That'll satisfy that craving for buffalo wings. What you say? Buffalo cauliflower? Yes, child. Trust me, this is the bomb. Okay, the vegetarian life is not as hard as you think. Well, it's hard, but you can still eat good. And everybody wondering how you get a lot long without meat. Just like this. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you like the recipe, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. There's one on each side. If you want to make sure that you're notified every time I upload videos, hit that little bell and you'll get notifications every time I upload a video. And after you like and subscribe, share. Share the video with someone. I have so many friends that have decided to stop their evil ways and go vegetarian. I'm just joking. I'm joking, people. Don't come for me. There's nothing evil about eating meat. I just don't eat meat for health purposes. Not because I don't like meat, because I do enjoy a good piece of chicken and fish and stuff like that. So anyway, I have a lot of friends that have decided to go the vegetarian way or the vegan way. And so this is my way of helping out, because I've lived that life. Lived it for quite some time and then went back to eating meat and then decided to stop again. So, you know, there's ways that you can enjoy your food and enjoy being vegetarian, and this is one of the ways that you can do it. So don't forget to share the videos with some of your friends that may be looking for some different recipes or different ways to eat. So like, subscribe, and share. Now that we've gotten that out the way, thank you so very much for stopping by and visiting with me in my kitchen on today. And I love you. I appreciate you. Don't forget about our monthly giveaway. Questions have to be in by the 12th. And then the winners are announced on the 15th. The winners that won last month, their gifts are being sent this week. So hopefully we'll get some pictures and see if they like what they got. So, and we're going to be doing this up until March. So thank you guys again. I am so grateful for all the support. Grateful that you took time out of your busy day to just give me a chance. So God bless you. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. You know I always got your back when it comes to this food, and happy cooking.